Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Drop Bag Podcast. This is Megan. I'm here with Kelly, and we're gonna bring you guys another episode this week. But so I guess what's going on, Kelly? How you doing?
I'm good. So I think I feel a little extra nervous because we're going to push this out to YouTube as well, which we haven't in the past. So I got all dressed up,
Mhm,
obviously,
mhm.
here
Bringing
for
our
the
best.
video.
I was gonna say it's very exciting because this is our episode where we're gonna go to YouTube. So,
Yeah. So I've got my closet in the background per
uh-huh,
usual.
uh-huh.
It's my studio. And I was thinking, I'm like, why am I still in my closet? I'm like, because it's the safe place in my
It's
life. It's it's my safe place. So I'm gonna keep
Yep.
recording from the closet.
I am actually in our office, so you could see we got, like, some of my medals and stuff up here that I got. Oh, there it is, displayed. I got the bike, which we'll talk about, has been my friend lately. But it's also my safe place. Well, somewhat. If there's a dog freak out, which there might be, um, I may have to put this on mute or take a little break. I have to find a
Yeah.
place that's a little bit safer than this for the future, but
They know where to find you. And I
oh, they
will
do.
say, I have been, like, checking out well, it happens, right? Like, you're
Uh-huh.
on Instagram and you see so and so recording from their studio or a picture of just, like, anybody who has kind of, like, their medals displayed.
Mhm.
I've seen some cool kind of, like, garage setups where it's, like, the different running vests are hung up and then
Mhm.
and it just looks all
And it
geared
looks so
out and
good.
cool, and I'm like,
Like, I would. So we do have a pretty cool garage setup. So we have a gym out there, and everything is relatively neat. It is. It would if I weren't in Texas and it weren't 120 degrees in my garage right now, maybe I would go out there because that would be a safe place too. But for right now, we're gonna give this a shot and see how it goes.
okay, well, you might have to give us, like, a garage tour someday because I love seeing the way people, like, organize even, like, their medals and stuff,
Mhm.
because mine are just mostly sadly, I've
Mhm.
kind of gotten rid of most of mine over the years, and
Oh.
now I'm like, "Why did I do that? I should have saved them, at least put them in a box somewhere."
Yeah, a
Um,
shoebox. Put them under the bed.
yeah, but now I'm like, I love seeing people's stuff, like, out and
Mhm.
just kind of organized, and it's fun to see the different ways that people do that, so you might have
Yeah.
to, like,
And they have fun things too, like on Etsy, like where you can buy people are really creative with how they display that stuff.
yeah,
So you can make
so
like a whole
you'll have
wall.
to take us on a tour at some point, Megan.
I will,
Show us
I will.
show us your layout.
Yes, yes. Um, so this episode is gonna be a little bit interesting. It's like that dreaded episode that nobody wants to talk about, but everybody knows what it is because it's injuries and we all get them, and we both happen to actually be kind of working our way through that kind of thing. But before we get there, drop bag item. Do you have an item for this week,
Okay, I
Kelly?
do, and
Okay.
I'm even prepared for the video on this. I
Okay.
was like, "Oh, I need my visuals." Okay, so, normally I carry my phone. Well, depending on the race, you
Mhm,
have your phone or you don't. A lot of them you do because you need it for the course or,
mhm.
like, just communicate, whatever. So, normally, I have my phone in this huge, like, wallet, and it's got all, like, my cards and
That is
stuff
so
like that.
cool.
Well and it is kinda cool. It's got these 2 things on the bottom that, like, have, like, a purse attachment, so you
Mhm.
can even just kinda, like,
Huh.
throw it on like a purse.
Mhm.
But it's huge, like, this is not gonna, like, do well in any sort of pack.
Mm.
So, I for, like, a year, I would take my phone out of this case, put it wherever I needed it to be safe, and put it in a Ziploc bag, to, like, keep it dry, because then I
Mhm.
was gonna throw it in the back of my vest. So
Mhm.
I got all my visuals,
There you
okay.
go. Yep.
So, like, finally, I'm like, "Okay, this" what would happen, though, I would put this in the Ziploc bag, and then I would put it in this back pocket of my vest, and, um, a little bit because I had tried some of the front pockets in my vest, and I would wind up with, like, a cell phone bruise. Like, the corner of the cell phone would just, like, nail me in the ribs the whole time,
Mhm.
and I would wind up, like, super sore. So I'd inevitably wind up just, like, throwing it in the back and, like, never seeing it again until I was done with my run. But then I'd pull out the Ziploc baggie, and it would be, like, wet, like, inside and outside because, I don't know, they're semi-permeable to whatever extent. So, I'm like, "Okay, this is all not working," and it's getting so hot in Texas, of course, like, summer's coming on, I'm a sweaty mess. So, for Cocodona, I wound up just buying a cheap plastic phone case. So, because I was like, "I also want some protection," right?
Mhm.
So, I just I think just, like, whatever, $9 plastic phone case, so now it's a little bit protected, and then I have, like, tons of these, like, they're waterproof dry bags that you just roll and clip.
Mhm.
Let's see if I can find my video.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You know what? Instead of using all these Ziplocs," which I would actually, like, reuse the same Ziploc,
Mhm.
like, 10 times because 'cause I'm like,
Same.
I don't wanna, like, just go through all the Ziplocs every time I go run." But I was like, "Hey, this one actually is reusable." So I throw it in here, and then I just, like, slid it down my back, but I left, like, the top of the bag just kind of
Just
floating
open.
out the back of my pack, which, like, I left enough out so it wasn't bonking around because I hate that, but it was I could just reach back and grab the whole thing back out of my pack. So, I took this on my last long run, and I was like, "I'm a genius." I've, like, figured it out. So, that's my drop bag guide. I'm like, "Get your phone set up, taken care of." Like, get whatever you need to protect your phone, but then maybe something a little bit better than a Ziploc
Mhm.
bag in the back of your vest. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's my tip.
something that's waterproof or water resistant or but it's actually funny you mentioned that. So, a lot of my races my past couple races, I haven't even brought my phone because there are something like races where it's loops or you're always coming back to start finish, like, I feel like I probably not really a necessity, and
Mhm.
I want to be the kind of person that stops and takes pictures and things like that, but I'm just not. I can't. I just, like, I think about it and I'm like, "Oh, that'd be a really pretty picture," and then I'm like, "Nope." So, but, but in the past, my past races, my early races where I would bring my phone with me, I would try what you said, like, in the front pocket, and it wouldn't even be in a zip. I mean, 1, it would get wet. The phone case itself that it's in is, like, pretty sealed and protected, so I'm not so much worried about it getting wet. It's never really had an issue with that, but you're right about the, like, causing like, it, like, pushing against your skin and, like, causing little rubs and almost like burns, because 'cause I've had it in, like, my side short pocket too, where it would rub and it would cause this crazy chafing mark, like, along my
Hey,
body. Yeah,
I
and
I'm
but
like, "How do
even
people do this?" Because the
yeah,
last time I tried it in my side pocket, I tried it once
yeah,
in the side pocket of my shorts because I keep seeing some runners do this, and I had a phone bruise.
you have yeah, and I have, like, horrible chafing, like, it almost feels like a burn, but I know it's not, but it's just chafing that's, like, along especially the bottom of it. But, but then so I would put it in my pocket in my vest, and it would do that thing where it's, like, trying to get into the phone, like, I'm moving around and it's jostling around, and it keeps
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to, like, punch the numbers and stuff. One race I did, it was, Possum's Kingdom. It was and so I had, the phone in there, and I took it out, and it said, like, "You've surpassed the amount of times you've tried to get into your phone with the code. You have to wait 3 hours and something minutes until your phone works again." And so here I am at the end of a race, like, I have an Airbnb, I don't know directions on how to get back to it. I can't get into my phone, I can't call anyone. The only thing you can do is emergency call. You can't get into it, you can't do it, and it won't work for 3 hours and something minutes. So I was like, "Oh, man." I was like, "Thank God my car has a GPS where I could, like, plug in where my Airbnb was."
Oh.
And then I happened to remember the name of the street that it was on because I couldn't get into my phone to check anything, to check the address, to check like, I couldn't do anything. So thank God I happened to remember the street that it was on, so I plugged that into my car so I could get back after the race, but I was like, "Man, like, this has to be an issue, like, how do people do this? How do they run with their phone and not have that happen?"
Impressed that you
Yeah,
got your butt back to your Airbnb. I
man.
would have been like, "I'm gonna be
My
sitting here for 3
gosh.
hours." But
I
I've
sat there
heard
I'm telling you, it took me a while to think of the car thing because I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't it's like 10 minutes away, I don't remember all the turns that I took. But,
okay.
yeah, so there's gotta be a way, and, that is probably
Yeah.
the way. That's probably the way,
Right.
because
Well, here well, yeah, I've heard actually other stories where people have been locked out of their phones, and some of them, like, on a course where you need the course
oh
because
gosh.
it like, their phone was the course map, and they really needed
Mhm.
to use it and wound up locked out. So it can be that can be a nightmare moment, and I don't know, like, maybe
Yeah,
I
gotta
don't know, experiment with it. Like, I just have only done that on one run, and I was like, "Yes, like, I think this is how I'm
that
going to do this
that's
now."
the way, yeah. I have to look to see
Yeah,
if there's one where they have, where it, like, it's a hard front cover too, because I think that might be mostly my
right.
issue, is that it keeps tapping on the front of
Okay.
the phone. So I need to maybe I'll find something, see if I can
Yeah.
experiment with that a little
Yeah,
bit.
and then I don't know, rig something up so at least, like, for me, it was just so nice
Mhm.
to, like, be able to grab it out from behind me
Yep.
without, like, I would just be, like, tearing my arms off trying to get it and
Yeah, and it's not jostling around because that's the other thing with it
Right.
sometimes in the front pockets is that it still, like, shakes, and that's kind of
Mhm.
annoying.
Yeah. Alright, there you go. What do you got, Megan?
I also came prepared with show and tell.
Yeah.
So, yes, I know. I'm very proud of myself. Okay, but I posted this on our story. So you had mentioned this our last episode. You said that your husband was trying this. So we were talking about how I was having issues falling asleep and staying asleep. So after you had said that, I was like, okay, well, let me look into this. And so, 'cause I'd seen all the ads, on Instagram and Facebook and all the things, and so I was like, "Okay." So I got it, and I've been trying it for a couple nights now, and so far so good. So far, it's working. I there's something to it, I'm thinking. So I'm gonna give it more time, I'm gonna keep trying it, but it's, the Moon Brew, like you said. So this one's the hot cocoa flavor. It's really delicious. I mean, it tastes really good, and so I just have it, it says an hour or 2 before bed. So um, I've been taking it like 30 minutes or so before I get into bed because I like to read at night. So I'll lay there and I'll read for a couple hours. And so I'll usually just take it like right before I'm like ready to hop into bed. And then I try to like cool down, like put the phone away, do all the things that are supposed to like really help with sleep, read, kind of wind down that way. And so far it's working. So far we're doing good. So I really like it. Um, I mean, we'll see, but this could be it. This could be it.
Yay, okay, I'm writing notes.
Yes,
So, I was like, "Yeah, we need to do a product review after all the
about
products
all
we
of
talked
this.
about last week."
It's so funny
But,
because we even joked last week about being like, "We're just influencing each other at this
I
point."
know, I know, afterwards,
So true.
Megan's like, "Okay, where did you get this?" And I'm like, "This is awesome. We are selling each other on all
Which
of these products."
yep, that's the way it works, though. And then we can hopefully get our listeners onto it too, if it works.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, first of all, on salty britches, because I actually, was talking to my coworkers. I don't know what in the ding dongville I've been in, but I
Mm,
do wetland work, which means my feet are in water a lot when I'm out on a
mm,
project site. And some of my coworkers, we were talking about this and like how like uncomfortable it is and how you wind up with these soggy feet. And I was like, you guys aren't I
mm.
haven't told you about salty britches. And so I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like, here's this
Uh-huh.
amazing product. Please go get some." And so they're all on board now. But that's the great thing. It's like once you find a great product or something that works for you,
Mhm.
it can be really beneficial for other people. And so Moon Brew being one of those,
Yes.
which, my husband hasn't actually tried yet.
That's so funny.
I got it for him, but I'm like, I
Well, you
don't
can
know how
let
to
him know
break
that it works.
I know. I'm like, I don't know how to break it to him because he is super like, I would say he would, like, not do it just because, like, it says it can do something, and
Mhm,
he's not gonna just believe it.
mhm,
I don't know how to like, share this part of his personality. Like, he's not gonna just believe something, which I'm like,
mhm.
"Fair, like,
Yeah.
that's good. But try this."
Yeah.
So actually, the other night, I've been using it.
Have you?
And I use it I've had a couple nights when I didn't, and then a few nights when I did, and
Mhm,
I woke up yesterday and I was like, I slept like a freaking rock all night, and I felt amazing when I woke up, and it was the night
mhm,
that I had taken the moon brew, and I was like, "That freaking worked." Like, that was an
mhm,
awesome sleep. So,
mhm.
yes, so
Wicked.
definitely recommend, yes.
Yes. So, I mean, I'll keep you updated because there are, with my work schedule and being on call some nights, I could literally just get woken up in the middle of the night and have to go out. So on those
Mm,
nights, I don't use it. Not and I don't even know if my rationale is correct because it doesn't have, like, melatonin. That's actually one of the great things about it is that it doesn't have melatonin in it.
mhm,
So it's not
mhm,
something so I don't even know how I would react to, like, taking it and then getting woken up in the middle of the night to go out on a call and then I'm not sure, but I haven't been just because 'cause I'm like, "Well, what if it makes me groggy or something?" But I haven't felt groggy at all, even, like, waking up and stuff.
okay.
So I think I might try it just, like, regularly and see. But, yeah, I like it.
Yep.
I like it. So far,
Alright,
good.
keep us updated.
Yep, I will.
Cool.
Um, and then, I mean, we don't even have so the whole reason for this episode today is for injuries, so I don't even know if we have a while on the run. Do you have? I mean,
We have a while on the run
you?
because,
Okay.
this
So
week
oh, I
while
don't.
running
Okay.
can happen, like, last week, it can happen when you're not running.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
pretty much like this week while running, while maybe also not running. So it could
Okay.
be anything you want it to be, essentially.
Okay. Okay.
So, my this week while running, I'll start, and you can think of yours.
Okay. Okay.
This week while running, while I haven't been running,
Mhm.
is the cold plunge. Do you cold plunge, Megan?
I have in the past, just, like, in our pool in our backyard in winter time cold
Okay.
when it's cold-ish, but
Yes.
not, like, in an official cold plunge pool and not, like, more than a couple times.
Okay. Same,
Okay.
until recently, because 1, I do not like being cold.
Okay.
As you can tell, like, it is the dead of summer, and I am
It's
in my sweatshirt, all cozy.
that's
I do not like being cold.
that's crazy.
Um, so, at my gym, there are 2 really huge hot tubs. I don't know, like,
Mhm.
50 people can fit in these. They're huge. They decided to turn one of them, and they're just side by side, decided to turn one of them into a cold plunge, and I was like, "Idiots!" Like, nobody's gonna wanna do that.
I actually just thought the opposite. I was like, "That's so smart."
People use them, like, they're usually, like, there's people in the hot tubs, and I was like, "Man, that's gonna tick everybody off, like, we all want our hot tub," and I'm like, "I am never gonna be cold plunged." So the cold plunge has been there, I don't know, like, maybe a couple of months, and I'm
Okay.
like, "Heck no," like, I'm not interested. Until I got injured, 1, and 2, I was listening to Trail Runner Nation, so that's another podcast, it's like the OG trail running
Mhm.
podcast. If you don't listen to it, you definitely should, they're awesome. They had on now I don't even know his name, like, one of the founders of Cold Plunge, like one that you can buy for your
Okay.
backyard or whatever. And they just I think everybody at this point has heard I mean, obviously, cold plunging is a thing. People are doing it and blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to make you, like, be young again and hell who knows? I don't know, like, all the claims. So, I'm listening, and the guy just shared a few stories of, like, just real health turnarounds, just like, geez, somebody one of the ones he shared was, somebody who had had cancer, started cold plunging went on a very cold swim and came out cancer-free, just things like that where you're like, "Oh gosh," like and I think one of the ones he shared was somebody who had some injury, and there was inflammation, and you get these cold plunges, and obviously, what does coldness do to inflammation? It decreases it. So I was like, "Oh, okay, I have this injury, like,
Mhm.
this is gonna be my miracle." So, I decided to go cold plunge. I'm trying to remember what I had done. I think did I go swimming? I was swimming because that's the new running. I'm swimming and I go in, here's the cold plunge, and
Mhm.
I mean, I got up to my knees and I was like having a panic attack.
Mhm.
I just unbelievably cold, unbelievable, where I was like, "Oh," like, I can't even
Mhm.
breathe, and so I'm trying to get in there, and I make it for 30 seconds, and then I get back out, and I'm reading there's, like, a little kind of, like, signage above the cold plunge, like, "Here's here's how you can, like, kind of slowly learn how to do this," and it said 30 seconds to a minute, so I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna do 30 seconds 3 times."
Mhm.
And each time I'm just like, holy moly, this is so unbelievably cold, like, instant frozen. I couldn't even believe I could be that cold that quickly. So I get through the 30 so I do that the first time, and I actually went to work and was brought it up with a couple coworkers and found a couple people at work who do it, and they're just like, "Yeah," like, so then, it's just blowing up and getting crazy, and everybody's telling me all the wonderful things, and so I'm like, "Okay, this is gonna heal me from this injury," and I'm all dedicated. So I've been going and swimming, which is the new running, like I said, and then now I have worked up to I still do my 3 sets of 30 seconds, but, like, up to my jaw, like,
Okay,
I'm under.
that's good.
And then yeah, and then I can sit there, like, belly button down for 3 minutes easy. I could probably do 4. I could probably do 5. Like, that's not the hard part is, like, your chest and your hands and, like, your neck, you know?
Mhm.
So to finish, I do at least 3 minutes of just sitting there, freezing my legs off, and I guess I'm pretty sure I'm almost healed, but secondly, I'm just impressed at how cold this thing is. I'm like, how does this happen that I mean, I thought surely it must be at, like, 33 degrees, like, just above ice cubes floating around in here. It's at 50. It's at 50 degrees. It's not that cold.
I was gonna say, is it like 40? Like, a lot of people, like, they'll play with, like,
No.
the 40 mark,
No.
50.
Yeah, I don't mean that's like people at my office are like, "Oh, well, if it's more around 50, you can stay in longer, like, it's not that bad," and I'm like, "Okay." So, anyway, it's not that cold, it's 50, but, it's been really fun, I don't know, kind of, like, giving me this new thing to try. Also, in my mind, I'm just like, "This is the miracle I'm looking for." Um, so I think I have done it every day for a week now. So it's pretty
Okay,
good.
that's really good. That's really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't, I've read a lot about it, um, or I've heard a lot about it. My husband was into that. We actually, like, had talked about doing, like, a cold plunge sauna thing before in the past. It wouldn't really work with our house now, but it's definitely probably going to be, like, a staple in our recovery at some point in time, just not now. But, I have I don't know if this is normal, but the times that I've tried to cold plunge, so I'll get in, and this is just in the pool in the backyard. So this is probably, like, in, like, the dead of winter, it's probably, like, high 40s, maybe 50, somewhere, like, around what you're doing. But I'll get in, and so all of my muscles will, like, Charlie horse up, like, in my legs and, like, like, inner, like, my groin, like, everything just gets, like, Charlie horsed, and I don't know if that's normal because it doesn't feel good. It feels like a Charlie horse. I'm like, everything feels not good, and I don't know if it's just because I'm, like, so tense going in there, and then maybe I'm just, like, everything starts freaking out, but um, but that's also with me standing too, because it's the pool. So I'll go into where I'm, like, standing, but then go up to, like, neck height or chest height so that everything's under. So I don't know if it part of it's because I'm standing. Maybe I should sit. I don't know.
So I especially when at the end where I just do my 3 minutes where I'm just sitting there, like, belly button down, and in that case, I am sitting. Before, like, the other ones, I have to kind of, like, curl up because I'm
Up.
trying to get into my neck, so I'm kinda scrunched up, and I've had the same thoughts, like, "Oh, is this, like, how I want my muscles to freeze?" And
This is how I
I'll
wanna
sit
die.
there on that 3 yeah, exactly, I'm like, "Wow." So, on the 3-minute one, I will just sit there and look at my legs, and I can see my muscles just, like, kinda cramping up, and
Yeah.
I just so, like everybody says, like, you really have to work on your breath,
Mhm.
And I'll notice my legs doing that, and then I'll just take this big breath and let it go and just kind of, like everything feels better. I
Yeah.
don't know, like,
Like,
I get
sit
to a
into
point
it.
where I'm like yeah, I'm like, "Okay, like, this is okay. I'm okay. My legs are okay, and I'm gonna be healed tomorrow."
Mhm.
So
This this is
so,
gonna fix
I I
me.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's like I definitely know what you're talking about, where just like, it's a weirdest feeling, like, I feel like, everything is just freezing and
Mhm.
contracting and
Mhm.
yeah. So, I don't know, I guess I still need to kinda keep learning about it a little bit because 'cause I'm
Mhm.
not an expert, but I have been enjoying trying.
Just yeah.
So,
And if like, in, like, worst case, it's great for your, like, mental strength too, because even just the thought of, like, getting yourself to it, deciding you're gonna go in it, going in it, sticking to your routine, like, that's all mental games too. So, at the very least, at least you're forcing yourself to do something that's not comfortable. So, you gotta win there.
yeah, there we
But
go.
yeah, yeah. Um, and so I guess since
Alright.
you brought
How
that
about
up,
you, Megan?
yeah.
Anything
Yeah, so I think now that you said that it doesn't have to be running, and now you just brought up cold plunging, which I guess we're kinda, like, talking about mine is also sort of like injury recovery, um, like, trying new things. Um, so I guess my I'll use my aqua jogging, my aqua running. So I guess that's technically running, it's just in a pool. So for all you guys who don't know, oh I guess I was researching different cross training methods because of my calf strain that I got from the couple days before the race that we talked about, and then I just made it way worse at the race. But so I was looking up the cross training stuff, and so I looked up aqua jogging, and that was like what came up as the thing to do because it's still the same running mechanics. You're just in the water. And so I ran out to like our local sporting goods store. I got the belt. It's supposed to be like a floaty belt, like a workout belt that you wear in the pool. And so I got it, I brought it back, and I was like, "Okay, we're gonna do this aqua jogging thing." And so I looked up all these videos on how to do it, and then I even found like a, interval style workout to do it. So warm up for a little bit, and I was like, "Wait, 10-minute warm up where that to me felt like the whole workout because it was that hard. But so it was like a 10-15 minute warm up, and then it was a minute on, 30 seconds off, 2 minutes on, 30 seconds off, 2 minutes on. So it worked its way, and then I think it progressed to a minute off or a minute and a half off once the, ons started increasing. It went up to 5, and then it was did another set of 5 and then back down the ladder. So 4, 3, 2, 1. The whole workout ended up being like 45 minutes, 48 minutes, and I felt like I was drowning at 5 minutes. I felt like I was actually physically going to drown in my own pool in my backyard. It was so hard. I don't know. I mean, you've I know you have tried it a couple times and you have said something similar where you're like, "I couldn't get it. This was not it." Even at the end, I didn't feel like I quite had it, but maybe I didn't feel like the floaty belt was helping me float very much. I felt like I was struggling to keep my chin above the water. I kept, like, getting water in my mouth. I was spitting it out. It was an experience, but, I've only done it the one time because I'm scared that I'm gonna drown. So I think maybe I'll try, like, a better floaty belt that gives me, like, a little bit more buoyancy so I don't feel like I'm dying. So, that's my while on the run. So
That's good to know
mhm,
because you shared that you got the floaty belt,
mhm,
and I was like, "Oh, no, she's gonna try aqua jogging," because I okay, however, in the past, I don't even know if it was I don't know if I must have had an injury because I have
mhm,
no idea why else I'd be trying to aqua jog.
mhm,
Like, who
mhm.
chooses this? Um, and I had listened to somebody else who had done it, and this is, like, years and years and years ago. I wanna say, like, when it could be, like, a decade ago. It was so long ago, and I remember jumping in the pool, but I didn't buy the belt because 'cause I'm like, "I don't want this
Oh.
stupid belt because it's stupid, and, like, I don't want to have a piece of equipment that is just stupid, and I don't," like, I just refuse. So I'm like, "I've got this." So I am doing it without the belt. I'm like, "Oh my gosh," like, you have to work really hard to kind of stay afloat, right? And I wound up like you, like, I was working so hard, I'm like, I'm done in, like, 5 minutes, I
Mhm.
can't, I'm exhausted."
That's how I felt too, but the thing that I didn't realize was that, and for people who, like, don't know what it is, it's done in the deep end. So your feet don't touch the ground ever, and you just, like, pull your knees up really high. It's like, it's hard to describe, but you're pulling your knees up so super high, and you're trying to keep the same running motion with your arms. But it's
Mhm.
really hard because it's not like treading water where you're, like, creating this, like, buoyancy effect, because there isn't really any with that running motion. So I was almost finding myself, like, trying to even cut my hands just to, like, get me a little bit afloat because I it's like treading water, but way harder, way
Yeah,
harder.
and I would find, like, so then, okay, I'm like, "Well, I need to tread water for a second because 'cause I'm drowning," and so I'm like, run for, like, 5 seconds and then kinda, like, get your breath and then, like, and so I I think it is a really great thing to, I mean, if you are injured, like, if you could work on this until you got good at it, like, what a great, like, thing to have in your back pocket, like a great cross training, or I mean, because it is very difficult and requires some skill,
Yeah.
and, like, if you're actually gonna, like, feel like you can do a workout rather than just, like, not drowned, like, that would be
Mhm.
great.
Mhm. I can't even imagine doing it without a belt. I don't know how you do that. I'm still like my brain is that's not possible for me.
Well, it didn't last long,
Yeah.
and then ultimately, I'm like, "I'll just swim."
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just
Which
yeah.
Which I'll get into more with my current injury,
Mhm.
as why, like,
Yeah.
aqua belting, jogging won't work either at
Yeah.
this point.
Well,
So,
I mean, we might as well.
anyway,
We might as well because
okay,
now we're there. So let's jump into the injury stuff. Tell us what's going on
let's do
because I don't
injuries.
even know. I don't even know.
I know, Megan, I get to share my fun and
Yeah,
exciting injury.
because this is new, right? When
Okay,
go with it.
I don't know. So, uh, there are many confusing things about this for me. One, I have not been injured in so long, just, like, having an injury is kind of blowing my mind. Um I wanna say I started feeling some pain in my gluteus medius, which is, like, the outer muscle of your bum, right? So you have kinda like the back one, your gluteus maximus, and then this gluteus me
Yes.
I'm glad we're videoing this because the visuals are important
Yeah.
here. Are kinda sit outside, like, on your
Yeah, they, like,
hips a
sit
little
outside
bit
the hips
here.
on the outside, yeah.
Yes, okay. So, I started just feeling like around Cocodona, but it was weird because, like, Cocodona, I had tapered
Mhm,
for no reason because it wasn't my race, but I had tapered for it, and then the actual race, I ran around s and it wasn't even a run. It was mostly a hike at
mhm,
not a crazy pace, around 60 miles that whole week. So, it wasn't a super heavy week, it was mostly hiking, so taper, not a hard week. And then I decided when I got home to also kind of take another easy week and just kind of reset because I was heading into my A race training.
mhm,
So I'm like, okay, I've kind of got a little fudge room. Like, let's just make sure everything is really good. But this whole time I kept on like, oh geez, like I'm feeling this like tightness
mhm,
back in that muscle. And so after Cocodona, when I would run again, I'm like, "Oh, I really need to roll that out." So I started to roll it, and then I started to roll it more because 'cause I'm like, "Gosh, it's really hurting," and it was just on my left side, and then I started feeling it a little bit on my right side, and I'm like,
um,
"Okay." I bought new shoes. I have, like, 3 pairs of new shoes, so, like, shoes are good. I'm rolling. The one thing that I'm rethinking is, like, that taper to Cocodona, I had not been lifting weights because I was kind of backing off of
mhm.
everything.
Yep.
And right before the taper, I had hit some bigger mileage. And so I hadn't lifted weights. So it had probably been like 3 or 4 weeks without lifting any weights. And I'm like, maybe that was it. So the ways that you can hurt your gluteus medius are overuse.
Mhm.
It can also be a weakness, like, it's underused, right? So you've
Mhm.
underused it, and then you go out and try to run, and you injure yourself. It can also be from posture, so if you think about, like, sitting and then, like, having bad posture just stretches all of those muscles out further than they should be, right? So if you're sitting up nice and tall, they're only going to expand so far, but as you have bad
You
posture, they
start
kind of
leaning
have to
forward,
reach. Yeah,
pulls on them.
they have to reach farther. And so I'm like, "Ugh, I do not have great posture," like, it
Mhm.
could be that. And so for me, I'm like, I guess it was my posture, like, I just can't think of any other reason why I would have this problem. So I'm noticing it, I'm noticing it. I decide like, "Okay, well, I need to strengthen it." So, I mean, like, a good deadlift just nails it.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, that actually feels really good." Like, I can feel it, like, hitting that muscle right where it hurts. So I went in and cranked on it. Felt good, like, being able to, like, pinpoint that muscle, but I finished the workout and I was like, "Oh, that was a bad idea." Like, this muscle is pulled, strained, like, it can be, it can be a surgery, like, if you wreck it enough, and I'm like, "Oh gosh, like, please, please no." So, the funny thing about it is, so it's your gluteus medius. It is called dead butt syndrome, DBS.
I'm trying not to laugh. I'm trying really hard to
I'm like, "Let's just take a moment." So I'm like, "Awesome, I have dead butt syndrome." I was telling a friend, she's like, "You just have old butt." And I'm like, "It's this old
Oh,
dead butt." Oh my gosh.
no.
So, it's also called gluteal anemia. So, any one of these things, like a gluteus medius strain,
Okay.
dead butt syndrome, old lady butt, I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever you wanna call it, but I got it, and it actually started migrating over to my right side as well, so I'm like, "Great, I have 2 dead butts."
Oh,
So,
probably, like, the compensating part, like, then strain to the
yeah,
other side.
yeah, I'm like, so I did push it in the weights, I went on a few long runs, and I could run, but I was like, "This hurts, like, every step, like, this is hurting." And finally, after one of my long runs, I think I even did a track workout on it. I was like, I gotta stop, like, I am injured." And it was really hard because I should be ramping up,
Mhm.
and now I am
Not.
and now I'm swimming. So,
Mhm.
then I'm like, "Okay, so what can I do? What can I do to, like, stay in weight?" So, I go in, I'm like, "Oh, well, of course I can, like, lift weights," but then I'm like, "Oh my gosh," like, I pretty much can not touch my butt, which, like, everything goes through your co it's like your core.
Yeah.
Everything goes through your butt, like, if you're gonna I mean, squats, like, anything on your legs, it's traveling through
Mhm.
your butt 100%. So I'm like, "Okay, upper body," which, I hate doing. I'm like, "I
Mhm.
refuse."
We
Or even,
gotta
like,
work on that.
I I'm like, even, like, core stuff, I'm like, butt. So, like, pretty much anything that, like, draws your chest forward, like, it's stretching that muscle that is pulled. So I'm like, "Okay, I don't wanna do that."
Yeah. And, like,
So
even
and
biking
then
would, like
so I hop on the bike, I'm like, "Okay." Like, I'll just, like, take the impact off, right? Like,
Mhm.
surely cannot bike
I was gonna say, 'cause
because
that's
it's
gonna
just
get your glutes too.
yeah. So I'm like, "Okay, no bike," because I spent a couple days on the bike, and I was like the first day felt okay, and then the next day I'm like, "Absolute like, no. Like, I'm not gonna get better if I keep using this muscle." So, no bike and into the pool. And so I think with the aqua belt, because then I was like, "Okay, I guess I'm buying this aqua belt with a thing in here." And but then I'm like, "No, like, that whole motion, like, my leg in any sort of, like, running stroke
That
is
cross
not what I
connect.
want."
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have been swimming, which I'm, like, super careful, like, I'm barely kicking. I'm doing, like, mostly, like, arm pulling, which you can be proud of me because that's a lot
Yep.
of arm stuff
I
for
was gonna
me.
say you're getting some upper body a little bit there.
Yeah, and even some of my drills that I normally do swimming, not doing them. Um, so, yeah, so I have been swimming, and I used to swim I used to do triathlon, so I used to, like, push my swims pretty hard. Like, ever since I have stopped triathlon, I'm like, I actually do not love swimming. It's kind of like a necessary evil. But now that just, like, I'm desperate to, like, have some
Something.
work being done, I've been pushing my swims, and it's actually kind of been fun to do a workout. So I've beefed up my swim workouts a little bit, and then when I'm done, I go and hit the cold plunge. And, let's see, the last time I ran was last Thursday, so it's almost been a full
Almost a week.
week. Yeah. And it does not feel great. Like, I can feel the injury, like, it's not aching like it was, but it is, like, still there. I'm
So
like,
even
"Oh,
to
it's."
walk around, like, normally, like, live your normal life, you can still feel it without
Yes, and however, I'm like, "Okay, I have poor posture." So, like, I'm always, like, thinking about my posture, and then I've spent most of the days, like, standing. Like, at work, I'll just stand up because 'cause I'm like, "I don't wanna sit down and pull that muscle anymore." Like, the more I can just, like, keep it static and leave it alone, the faster I feel like it will heal. So, I have been standing for 9 hours a day at work,
But that's good
plugging
too,
away,
the time on your feet.
which is good too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good time
which
on
is
your
good too.
feet, so you're giving yourself a little bit there too, which is good. At least
Right,
mentally, like,
right.
when you're trying to feel better about not being able to train, like, at least, like, you
Yeah,
kinda got I'm very much like a silver lining person where it's I have to reshape for me to, like, survive something tough mentally, like, I have to find a silver lining somewhere, even if it's silly, even if it's like, "Oh, well, at least
right.
that means I'm standing on my feet for a couple more hours a day," you know?
Even if
Anything.
it's, like, cold plunging.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, "I'm cold plunging, I'm gonna be fine."
Oh, that's
So, yeah,
tough.
so I'm standing. Yeah, it's the weirdest injury. I just, like, don't know where it came from. I don't know where it's gonna go.
It's
I
still both
just
sides, left and right? Interesting. Hmm.
Yeah, definitely worse on my left,
Mhm,
but the right is just waiting for me to
mhm,
slouch, and
mhm.
then it's gonna
Just the full
it's just waiting. So, I'm feeling those people who might have an injury right now too. It's so hard.
Mhm.
I don't know what this is gonna do to my race. It's not till the end of August, so I have some
Yeah,
time.
you have time.
But I also really wanna be ramping up my training, and
Mhm.
I'm really not.
Yeah.
So,
But you like, again, on the bright side, right? So you have years of fitness built up, years and years and years of it. Your body just doesn't forget that, right? So, like, you might not be where you want to be training wise, right? But you're not going to be, like, in a position where you lose 100% of your fitness for this race. Like, you might lose some, you might, but even that some is not enough to make you, like, unfit to be able to run your race. You're gonna be able to go through it. It might hurt a little bit more, not, like, the injury-wise, but, like, physically more than your normal one would that you did last year, right? Because 'Cause you're doing the habanero, right?
right.
Yeah, so you might not feel as great as you did last year doing it, but you're still gonna be able to do it, just with your build
Yeah,
up.
I guess some of it is, like, this was my A race, and so can I step away from that
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
let it be a fun race, let it be whatever it is and just
yeah.
getting back into it. I guess the other thing I've been on the fence about going in and, getting a scan because 'cause I'm like, uh, I keep reading surgery, and I certainly don't if I'm not in a place where I would need surgery yet, I don't wanna put
Mm,
myself there.
yep.
So, I'm also kind of like, it might be time to go get it checked out."
Yeah, I would say I mean, I think they generally say, like, if it's not getting better, Like if you're doing all of the things truly to rest it, right? You're not working out, you're not running, you're actually truly resting it and it's not getting better, then that's probably when you should go get it checked out.
See somebody. Okay, here's my question for you then,
Yeah.
Megan. It is feeling better.
Okay.
Like, I after the last time I ran, I was like, "I cannot go on another," like, I
Mhm.
can't run tomorrow.
Mhm.
It would be stupid. I hurt too much. I do feel better than that, and I'm thinking, like, maybe to like, this weekend, right? So I've given a
Mhm.
full week,
Mhm.
even a couple days. Like, maybe this weekend just go on, like, a super easy trail trot, a trail surface, so not a hard surface, and just a couple miles to see what happens. Like,
Mm.
oh, did that just make it feel terrible again? Or um was that okay? And maybe I can build from here. So thoughts on that.
I mean, I'm not a doctor, right? And I know I know what I would have that same mindset, right? Like you wanna just, like, feel
Okay.
it out, but then on the flip side, right, like, have you just taken 2 steps forward this week in resting to take steps back when you try to run and you cause the pain again, and now you're right back at square one and you've lost a whole week of recovery. So that's, like, kinda what you have to weigh. Are you able I guess the question you should ask, or I would ask myself, is if you do decide to go on this little trot, right? Will you be able to, the second you feel like discomfort that's not good, stop immediately? That's like the question you have to ask yourself. Even if it's
Okay.
like
Which
point 0.25 miles into your run, you haven't done anything, right? And you start to feel it, are you going to actually be able to stop yourself from causing more damage? That's the question, because that
I
would
was
be
gonna
hard for
say,
me.
yes, I am prepared to
Okay.
answer this. And I this is my right hand. I am prepared to pledge that I will stop. Like, I will stop.
Okay.
I don't want to go back to where I have just been. So I will go on a very gentle run and I will stop
Mhm.
and walk my butt home if that if the pain level goes up from where it's at right now.
Yeah.
Like it's there, it's not bad.
Mhm.
If it goes up at all, run is over.
Yeah. I mean, you could also
Okay?
you could
Is that a deal?
yes, yes, but even if you
Okay.
didn't want to and then my other point was gonna be even if you didn't want to run to, like, chance that, you could just do some impact things at home. You could just try, like, little plyo jumps or little, like, shuffle plyo moves, like, some of the plyometric stuff just to see if that causes anything. Because what I've sort of been, because I just started going to PT for my injury, so I've been, like, looking at sort of the progression of what recovery from an injury should look like, right? So, there's all of, like, the initial recovery where it's just, like, getting rid of the inflammation, like, letting it heal, and then you slowly start some, like, PT and some stretching, mobility, whatever, and then the next step, generally before you're starting to run again, is you do these little plyometrics sort of things, just to stimulate the impact just a little bit, without doing the run itself, so that might be something to kinda play with too,
Okay.
if you want to just give it a test. See, like, what, like, the like, jumping, like, single leg jumps, like, back and forth or side to side, and
Okay.
just see
Right. Yeah.
yep, and just see how that feels too. Could be an option.
Okay. Okay, so tell us about where your injury's at, because
Oh,
we
yeah.
we did talk about it a little bit, but maybe if you have some, like, more information about just what happened and how
Yeah.
it's going.
Yeah, so, I didn't get a scan or get anything done, I just from all of my in Google, um, like, what I was diagnosed with on Google, I decided that it was a calf strain, and it just felt like that. Everything about it, like, from the point a couple days before the race where I was doing a speedier workout and my pace was faster, I was pushing the pace a little bit. I just felt that kinda, like, instant not good, like, discomfort feeling, um, that kind of all points to a calf strain, or some sort. It could be a tear, but from what I was reading with a calf tear, even if it's minor, it's, like, pretty painful, and mine
Mm.
wasn't ever pain, it was just a s well, after the race, it was a whole bunch of swelling, it was discomfort, But once that swelling went away, which took a little while, actually, it took a little bit more than a week for the swelling plus the cellulitis.
Mhm.
We talked about that, didn't help it. But it took a while, but once that swelling went away, I could walk around the house fine. I was walking fine, didn't really feel anything like pain, like 0 out of 10 moving around the house, walking, functioning. It was just trying to put my weight onto my toes, trying to, like, stand up on my
Mhm.
toes where my calf would work, and I would feel it. I would, like, feel that, like, really discomfort. This, like again, it wasn't ever shooting pain, so I kind of ruled out tear. I went with, like, calf strain was my personal diagnosis. Um, yeah, so I took that, like, whole first week completely off of everything. And then the second week, I finally got back in the gym and I was doing, like, some upper body stuff just because I need movement. I need that so bad. So I did upper body stuff, which was fine and, felt good. And then I tried the aqua jogging thing, during that second week, and, I was like, "Well, you know what? I have the Nordic track bike and let's see how biking feels," because some people are like, "Oh, we'll just see." Sometimes, um, it's not impact, so if it's not so, like, I was like, "Yeah, my calves feel fine, it feels really tight," but just moving like that, it's not hurting, it's only impact and then trying to lift up onto my toes. So
Mhm.
they're like, "Well, let's try biking," because biking doesn't involve any of that. Biking, like, your calves work to an extent a little bit, but not the kind it's not the motion that caused me any discomfort. So, I hopped on the bike. Bike felt great. So, I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank God, like, I have something that I can
You have
do.
to keep aqua jogging.
I don't have to keep aqua
Although
jogging."
I want you to I want you to aqua jog,
Uh,
Megan, because, like, I just want you to get it,
I
and
am going to tell you right
it's
now,
gonna take some
I'm going to.
sessions, but, like, how cool,
I'm
right?
I'm going to do it because I'm not going to let it defeat me, and I felt
Okay.
defeated after that. I mean, I made it through that whole workout, and I still I felt defeated. Uh, so I will do it. I haven't been able to this week because I don't know if down by you, it's been rainy and disgusting
Yeah.
and stormy
Dude, I'm
all
out there
week.
swimming,
Oh, yeah.
swimming,
So I don't wanna
bring it.
be out there when it's storming outside, obviously,
Right.
and it's not really even, like, nice out. It's, like, cloudy and kinda like yeah, it's gross. So but I will, but I will. I might think about my husband bought me a noodle, like the pool noodles, so I might, like, figure out a way where I can, like, I don't know, cut it or something, like, maybe, like, make little hand things just to give me, like, a little more buoyancy because I feel like that
Or just, like, attach 'em,
or
like,
maybe, yeah,
I don't
maybe
know, like,
cut off a
tape 'em
piece
up.
and stick it in my belt or something.
Yeah, because it's like you don't that's not the part of the workout that you want, like, the grounding part.
Yeah,
It's
I want
you
the
wanna just
motion.
be
Yeah.
held. You wanna be held here and then do your work.
Yeah, yeah, at least held a little bit more, like, I don't wanna be, like, floating above the water like a buoy, but, like,
Right.
but I do want a little bit more so that I'm not just, like, fighting to keep my head up, but I will try it.
Okay.
So I will
Circle back.
yes, I
Circle
will
back.
revisit the aqua jogging, I'm going to do some adjustments to the belt, and I will return, but for now, the biking, I'm crushing the biking.
Ugh, so
Um,
good, yeah.
so cycling is also very hard for me. I think I've come after so I went to PT right before we're filming this. I just got back, and, um, so we were talking about the cycling and stuff, and she was like, "Well, you're not just, like, cranking down on this thing the whole time, right?" And I'm like, "It's I mean, the whole thing feels hard." So, I was like, What do you mean?" So, I think that, like, cycling is not something I've ever really done other than, like, when I've had little injuries or little, like, niggles and stuff that I'm working through. I don't I was never did, like, triathlon or cycling or anything like that, so I'm still learning what easy pace feels like and what hard pace feels
Mhm.
like, and that I feel like I haven't gotten into, like, the easy like, what the equivalent of an easy long run pace would be on a bike. I haven't
Okay.
mastered that yet because I think my heart rate, I'm, like, pushing still too hard, and so, I can, like by 2 hours on the bike, I'm exhausted, and it's like my average heart rate is, like, 155, like, 160 on for these 2 hours, and I'm like, "That's not quite equivalent to, like, what a easy run would be." That's definitely harder.
Right.
So I'm still trying to figure out that, but I'm really it's a very much a love-hate relationship with the bike. 'Cause it just is tough. It's hard.
It is,
I
and I
really, really
know.
push myself on that thing. I come out my husband is, like, disgusted by me when I walk out of the room. I there's a a puddle around the bike on the ground, like a thick puddle of liquid. I have towels under there now when I work out because I blew the power adapter on the bike. It was sitting
Ooh,
on the ground and the
it got
my
soaked.
sweat blew it out. So
I think that's a claim to fame right
oh,
there.
man, so I
Like,
had to
you
go
gotta
yeah. So I had to go on Amazon, get a new power adapter, and then, and set it off to the side, and now I have all these towels and stuff to try to collect my sweat off the ground
it
before
needs, like, a little you need to get a little table for your power adapter.
yeah,
Dude, I know you know what, Megan? It's so hard because it's like, okay, yeah, like, it's a good workout, and you can work hard on it and kind of keep some of the fitness, but these things are not running.
they're
They're
not.
just not,
They're
and
not.
it's really hard to kind of mentally get through all of that.
Yeah.
And a little I mean, even biking, like, a lot of times I go out on the road,
Mhm.
and that helps me a little bit because some of it is just, like, being outside, like, I don't
Mhm.
wanna be
Yep.
stuck in a swim lane, and I don't like, I would even open water swim before I, go back and forth in this dumb swim
Yep.
lane. I think some of it is that, like, I just want, like, the freedom
Yep.
that running brings me instead of, like, these kind of confined sports.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I will say,
sounds like you're doing awesome, but
yeah, I
it's
will
hard.
with the Nordic Track, I will say, like, the one feature what made me buy, like, Nordic Track over some of the other popular brands was that there's a big screen on it, and you can actually do trail runs and rides and stuff. So I have a treadmill too that's also Nordic Track, and you can literally pull up like iFit does, trail runs or bikes or whatever it is
Mhm.
that you're doing, like, out with, like, famous runners. So I can when I'm on the treadmill, I can pull up a run and I can, run with Sally McRae or, run with Lucy Bartholomew, and they're running and they're talking to you and stuff, but you're on a trail, so it feels so you're
Mhm.
not outside, it's not as great as outside, but it does bring, the littlest bit of, outside inside. So that's been nice.
Those are fun. Yeah, because also it's like, "Oh, well, I am in Auckland, and
Mhm,
I get to see, like, this cool national park that I
mhm,
wouldn't ever get to
yeah,
otherwise." However, I do feel like even when I'm swimming, these sports and things that kind of confine me. It's like I have to have many things going on. Like, it better be in trail mode, and Lucy Bartholomew
mhm,
better be talking to me, but I'm
mhm.
also going to be watching a film and, like, counting to 10
Oh
and,
my
like,
gosh.
checking 'cause, like, I just and I think that's kind of what trail running brings you to, like, there is just so much going on all of the time that
Mhm.
you're not just there looking at, like, the time
This
or the
yeah,
mileage
yeah.
or anything like
Or
that, so
watching the incline
when I
that's coming and you're like,
yeah.
"Ah, this is coming."
Right, and so when I am stuck like that, it's like I gotta have
All the
squirrels
things.
all over.
That's so funny, but no, I mean, I hear ya. I get the getting outside part, is, really important to me too. I miss the trails, um,
Yeah,
the, everyday running and stuff like that. I mean, I love running outside. Lately, I've been doing a lot on the treadmill in preps for Vermont 100, so that's probably the other reason why, I overdid it with the calf stuff because I've been on the treadmill instead of outside. I'm majority of my runs, other than I'll do a weekly trail run. I'll drive out to a trail somewhere and do my long run, which I do my long runs Thursday, Friday with my work schedule. But so on Thursdays, I usually go out to a trail and do the long run. But everything else, majority of it, other than maybe like a really easy run that I'll bring the dog out or something in the neighborhood, is done on the treadmill because I can do the hills and the inclines. I can load a trail that's in whatever, and it actually adjusts the incline and everything for you as you're running with the trail.
that's so sweet.
Which is really cool, but also, I live in Texas now. Well, before this, I lived East Coast where I lived, at sea level, and we didn't have any elevation really where I was running. So, I elevation to me and the pressure that it puts on my calves is something that's very new, and I think that with all of this, sudden increase in training for Vermont where there's elevation, there's, 17 or 18,000 feet of gain, I've been doing so much incline work. And I think that that added to like the mileage that was like slowly increasing and stuff was just my body was like, or my calves at least were like, hey girl, like this is brand new for us. So I think that kind of set me, I don't know, probably a little bit, probably I did obviously get to like the breaking point at some point, and then my calves were just like, no, we're done. But
Which is kind
mhm,
of cool. It's like this good reminder of being a beginning runner.
mhm,
Again, like, I think there's so much of me that, like you were saying, like, I have just years and years and years of fitness and work that I can always rely on, but there's parts of me and you, like you're expressing, that are a little bit more new to some of this, which on the one hand, you have to be careful with.
mhm,
And on the other hand, is exciting. Like, hey, here's this whole like just being able to really train on some vert is really kind of exciting and fun. It's like this other training that maybe I don't have as much experience on and I had to figure it out. But I'm gonna start, you know, building on that. And yeah, like injuries are gonna happen, which teach us to be careful and take care of ourselves, but then hopefully that next build and it just becomes a strength instead of an injury at
yeah,
some point.
yeah. I think that I just kinda jumped right into it, not thinking about it from that perspective, because to me, I'm like, I've been an athlete my whole life. I've always done sports. It's not, but when you're training for something that's a little more specific and involves, like, something like including vert, right, in your runs, like, I've been running for, essentially my whole life, but, like, long distance running more narrowed down to, like, a year or 2, but I feel like my body has adjusted to that in the sense where, like, I can confidently go through training builds and feel okay, but then when I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna put all this vert into my running," it's like I didn't take that, like, you're back to being like a baby at this vert thing again. You're like, yes, you're
Mhm.
very fit and you've been doing this thing, but like this is essentially like a whole new aspect of training and you have to start from the beginning. You can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna throw in like 8,000 feet of elevation this week when that's not normal for you, and that's exactly what I did, and it felt fine in the beginning, and then it gets to a point where it's like you're just over slowly overdoing it, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I did, but it's just it sucks because it's an injury, but it was also a very good reminder of, like, you're brand new at this, like, this world, and especially brand new at vert. So, it's gotta
Mhm.
be a very slow, like, you gotta take baby steps.
This is reminding me of my son. So my son is 13. He is 6 foot tall. He's
Mhm.
huge. He could, like, palm my face. He's just he wears a size 14 shoe. He's this massive 13-year-old,
Yeah.
and he looks like a man. But if you tried to treat him like a man,
Mhm,
like, or yeah, like, put the responsibilities of a man on him, like, "Hey, go get a
mhm,
full-time job and train like a, a man athlete
mhm.
you've been" like, he couldn't do it. He's
Yep.
he's he's a little baby.
Yeah,
He's my little
yep,
he's 13, and he's obviously, working on stuff and building it, but, like, it's the same idea, like, stop treating your calves like they have all the experience
yep.
that your quads do.
Mhm.
They just don't.
Exactly,
So
exactly. And so
yeah.
it's been a good, again, it's a lesson learned for sure, like, through this experience, and PT has helped too. I started PT. We just did, like, our first dry needling session this morning, so we'll see if
Ooh.
that helps out any, um, with the calf stuff, but it all in all, like, it definitely feel even from this PT session this week to last week's, already feels like it's getting so much better. Um I've been, like, approved to do some incline walking and stuff, so I can get on the treadmill now and, like, set the incline up and just do some, not the impact of running, but I can, because that I tried it this
Mhm.
morning, it felt good. So, we're on the up. It's de
Okay, that's very exciting.
Yeah, yeah, we're on the up. Next week, I think we're gonna try some of the little plyometric stuff just to see what some, low impact jumping kinda stuff feels. So, again, like, I'm obviously gonna do the race. in for Vermont because I think we're 6 weeks out now, so we're getting there. So it sucks because like, the mental like, it sucks because 'cause I'm supposed to be ramping up mileage right now. I'm supposed to be like, the end of June is supposed to be, like, my big mileage weeks, and I'm just not gonna get there, but I'm just gonna try to keep as much fitness cardiovascularly as I can on the bike, and like, I think it was you. I had some wise advice from you during my last when I had that little, like, knee niggle thing, after my other 100, I had a little bit of a knee niggle, which wasn't an injury, it was just some, like, IT band tightness, it was just, like, pulling it in weird directions and stuff, but that within, like, 2 or 3 weeks kinda healed 3 weeks, I would say, like, healed up, but you had given me the advice where I was like, "Man, like, I'm so nervous to do Rocky 100 because that was, like, I think 8 or 10 weeks away from that, like, knee niggle thing, and I was like, I wanna start running, like, I'm supposed to be ramping up my mileage, it's my first 100, like, I'm not gonna whatever, all the thoughts, the crazy thoughts that go in your head, and you said something like, "Megan, like, you, like, rest, like, you're not gonna lose that much fitness, but you're not gonna be able to show up and run Rocky if you only have one knee." You said something like that. Something along those lines of, like, you're not gonna be able to
Brilliant,
do
of
this race
course.
with only one, you need to show up with 2 functioning knees, and I was like, "You know what?" Like, it actually, like, resonated me w like, a lot. I was like, "Okay, it may not be my fastest race, I may not whatever, but I have to at least try my best to show up healthy." And so that's sort of my, like, reframed goal for Vermont. I wanted it to be this, like, really awesome I was having a great build up until the calf thing. I felt fantastic. I felt like the fittest I've ever been, and, but I just have to, like just, like, be okay with maybe it's not gonna be the most fantastic, but I'm gonna show up as healthy as I can be, and we're gonna do this thing, so we'll see.
Right, I think ultimately that is the best that you can do. Just get yourself to a healthy place. Because imagine just going in with this injury that you haven't taken care of, like, it is going to fall apart
It
in
will.
one of those races.
Yep.
But you do have muscle strength and you know, you have been able to cross train, like, things that you still have all these components that you can use if your body is functioning
Yeah.
healthy. So, like, let's get the healthy. That's definitely the most important part, and then, you know, everything else can kind of support that. So, I'm with you. I am actually just repeating my own words to
Mhm.
myself because I really
Yep.
really wanna be out running, and I just am like, there's no point to going out and running on an injury.
No,
Like, it's just not gonna
no.
you're not gonna let it heal, you're not gonna take care of it, you're not gonna ever get back to where you wanna be if you're just keep re-injuring yourself,
Yeah, you're just gonna keep
so
taking those, like,
for us
yeah, poor us. But, I mean, like,
but we're doing okay.
but every runner, like, at some point in time, you can do all of the things right, all of the cross training, the strength training, the mobility, you can do all these things all the time. Because I mean, I think we're pretty, I mean, we do a lot of those things. I'm the strength training, the all of the little, like, hip like, building up your glutes and building up your hips and getting the mobility, the clamshells, all the things that you're supposed to do as a runner, right? To, like to prevent injuries, we do, but it still happens. It's just, like, a part of running life, right? And I honestly think that sometimes these things happen for a reason. Sometimes they set you back
That
to to be able to cross train and do different things, and I really do. I feel like in some ways, like, they're meant to happen when they happen, and you're going to get through it, and it's gonna really suck and mentally, but you're gonna get through it, and at the end of the day, it's a journey, like, the end goal I mean, the short-term goal might be your race, right? But, like, the long-term goal is that you get to run like, you wanna be able to do these races year after year after year and get better. So it's just recognizing, like, the big goal is to be able to run feeling good and feeling healthy, and just being able to do that, um, I mean, is way more important to me, I think, than, like, my mental not my mental state right now, but it's like it helps me get through this, like, this mental weirdness right now.
Even, like, for me, I mean, it's like the right now pride. Like, the pride of this situation where I'm like, "Man, I was at this level, and I wanna be at this level, and I was gonna be at that level, and now I just have to kind of
Mm.
swallow all that pride down and be humble and be where I'm at." And I was actually talking to another friend. We're gonna go hike Mount Whitney in July with a few friends, and he had gotten really good shape, but he's injured right now, and I was like, "You know what? You know, but we talked it over, and he was really upset because,
Huh.
great, I've done all this work, and now I had to dial it back, and I just thought, "You know what? Every injury I've ever had, I come back more in love with running than ever
Uh-huh.
because, you don't get to do it for a little while, and it just reminds you how much you enjoy and cherish running and how important it is and how good it feels,
Mm.
and so it's worth, like, taking that step back, taking care of yourself, getting
Mhm.
through those injuries, and then you just come back, like,
Yeah.
more grateful and
Yeah.
stoked than
Yeah,
ever.
and sometimes stronger in other areas, like all the biking.
Mhm.
I was so scared before Rocky 100. I was so scared that I was gonna lose all this fitness and all this stuff. I went into Rocky 100, I felt great. I felt fantastic running that race. And so you never know, like, what these little even these little cross training things, they just work your body in different ways, like, it's it's like, a lot of times you're strengthening these parts that you don't even really realize, so that when you do start running
Mhm.
again, now you're coming into running again, like, stronger in other areas where you may not have been before. So maybe
Right.
yeah. So it'll
I like it.
yeah,
I like it, Megan. We're gonna be okay.
we're gonna be okay. We're gonna get there.
Yep. Yep, yep.
Um, so where are we at now? Are we done?
We
Close?
are at okay, one thing I wanted to mention
Yeah.
just because for some reason everybody is hiking the Grand Canyon in October. So I wanted to give a little heads up to anybody listening that I think in the next episode or 2, Megan and I are going to hash out the Grand Canyon because I have done it several times and I kinda wanna share some good tips. Megan's planning on doing it in October. So, we are gonna do a little so check for that. That's gonna be
Yes.
coming out
I'm
that
gonna
way
have so
soon.
many questions because I've been to the Grand Canyon as a kid. I was in my, like, I was 14 or 15 or something. It was a family trip, but my family's not, super outdoorsy, like, that kind of it was like a sightseeing sort of a vacation, which was great because I got to see all
Mm,
that stuff, but they're not like hikers, they don't hike, they're not we didn't do sort of the active activity stuff, so I got to see it, but I'm gonna have so many questions about, like, the good part, the hiking part,
yeah,
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
about the
doing it part.
doing it part, not just seeing it.
Right,
So,
right.
oh, that'd
So
be
that's
cool.
a little teaser, and then I guess, I don't know, I just feel so excited about some new drop bag items that Megan and I have coming up, but we'll just leave that as a teaser as
Mhm,
we kind of organize ourselves.
mhm.
So we have some exciting things in the pipeline
Yep.
to look forward to.
Yeah, and this being number 1 where you get to see our faces.
Yeah, yay. I don't know. We'll see if that's a good thing or not.
Yeah.
But, I guess normally we end with an inspirational
Mhm.
quote. I don't know if you have one prepared, Megan.
I have one because I just in
Uh,
case you asked me for one, I was gonna
okay.
like, I can't not
I was
be
like,
prepared, but I do have one, but if
I'm
you have
feeling
one
really
also
no, let's go with your I was just saying, I feel really inspired just by the little chat that we had, just reminding me like, that was really helpful for me.
good,
So,
good.
I'm inspired, but let's go ahead and, end off with your
Well, and
inspirational
this
quote.
plays off that too, so this kind of I guess this sort of, like, wraps up that a lot of what we just talked about. Um So this oh darn, I didn't say who's quoted it. I wanna say it was, like, Dean Karnazes or something like that. It was one of the big runners in the books who's written a book. I can triple check. We'll put it in the show notes, but I'm pretty sure it was Dean. And his quote was, um, which it very much resonates with our little chat today. It says, "Something is better than nothing, because those small bits of somethingness fills up the nothingness, and soon enough you'll have a lot of somethings." So I love
I felt Dr. Seuss. I'm like,
I
"Whoa."
love it. All the somethings and nothings, but it's basically like all of like right now it may feel like you have nothing, but you're doing all of these little somethings, all of these little tiny bits that you're stacking on each other. Especially like with injuries, you're doing all these things, and at some point in time, all of these little somethings are going to turn into a big something, and so I really like that. I read that and I was like, oh, that kind of like that feels good for this topic. So, but I don't know. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks. I'm gonna hold on to that. I'm gonna turn these little somethings that feel like nothing into something
That
at the end of the day.
one day, all those little somethings are gonna turn into something. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Megan. We'll talk again soon.
Yep. See ya.